Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to Shadows of Nox. We're doing another stream for Echoes of the O.S.S. Tonight is going to be called Curtain Call, where hopefully at the end of it our agents are still alive, but we'll see.
That's not ominous at all.
It's probably just all talk at this point. That's the way my rolls normally go in games like this, where I have something planned like that. It never goes the way I think. All right. But so we'll go around. Everybody will introduce themselves as we normally do. And I'll start with Ava.
Dang it.
And then go down. Yeah.
I am Ava, and I hope I'm coming in clear right now. My internet's a bit wonky tonight because of Storm and 3 people streaming at the same time in the house, but I'm playing Nora Shea, a former Cryptographer. What did I say?
Cartographer. You're making maps.
Yeah, making maps now.
Not making maps, Cryptographer. Yep, that's me.
Awesome. Anything
Now I gotta
going on?
find my yarn. Personally, or for the character?
Any like other streams or anything that you're doing? If you wanted to mention anything.
Not Tom will probably cover all the ones that I'm in and then some, so.
That's fair. All right. Next up, I'll go to Vorrt for Rocco.
Hi, I'm Vorrt. I'm playing Rocco, the tech priest. I hear things from machines and fix them. And I'm not on any other streams at this time.
All right. Teslan, go ahead.
Hi, I'm Teslan. I am playing Forrest Flanagan, a soldier bodyguard who has been charged with making sure that Nora doesn't come to harm or fall to the Reds. Because it's that time of the year where the Axis has been defeated, but the Reds are what everybody's really worried about.
Yes.
I agree. Cincinnati is a terrible place.
Yes, the time period that we're all playing in, of course, is 1945, which is late in 1945 in November right now, November 7th to be exact, and it's essentially the end of World War II. Most people have come back home, and it's not quite the Cold War yet, but there is still a lot of Cold War activity that happened before that really got kicked off. So that's the espionage that everyone else is dealing with, trying to track down Soviet spy rings in the States. Good times.
And right now, Forrest has decided to go method acting. Or at least that's what he's saying, and is instead of the soft bed that is waiting for him in the hotel, or at least the lumpy bed that's waiting for him in the motel room, he has literally bunkered down outside with a bedroll on to get his cowboy on. Would be what
That's the excuse, right?
That is the excuse, but what it really does is it allows him to keep an eye on Nora and Cherry's door, along with keeping an eye on the vehicle and the 2 guys, 2 large guys from Chicago. That have come to the hotel today while we were out.
Yeah. So, with last time you all finished up at the movie set and everything, and of course I'll go into that a little bit more. so that you all can kind of get your bearings as to what's going on in the motel again. But yeah, I am Andrew Bryant, also known as Roadkill, the keeper for this game. And some of the content warnings for today, as usual, we might touch on aspects of PTSD, amnesia, chemical weapons, and disembodied voices. So if any of those get to you, I hope you at least enjoy rather than get thrown away. But so at the end of last time, you all finished up your various things on the movie set. You discovered that there were two apparent people that the director, Irving Lerner, was, essentially roped into housing for the night. One of them you were able to identify from your list of suspected Soviet spies as well. The other wasn't a name you necessarily recognized, but you can assume that that's also one of the suspected spies within the States. The Rocco, you got a chance to meet Gene Autry for a little bit and work on a stage light and a set piece before turning back to the motel.
Yep.
Nora, you of course were able to figure out more with the math and everything from Professor Sommerfeld, and you were able to call him and relay some of that information to him. In which he mentions a lady named Eve that he's apparently been seeing for a bit. By the sounds of it, he's been seeing her for longer than the 10 days that you don't remember, so it started before you even, left campus necessarily.
Yeah. No, I knew about a theoretical physicist that he was probably seeing.
Right.
I don't remember when I found that out. Oh wait, that was like during the flashback. No, that was after that.
Yeah, you found out.
Okay.
I think over that phone call was the initial time.
No, that's when I got the name. I found out about the theoretical physicist while reading through my notes over the missing 10 days.
That's right. That's right. I remember that now.
This is me real time figuring out my notes.
Right. Which is good. It's good to take notes. And Rocco sent a telegram to one of his previous mentors and professors that specializes in obscure materials with engineering to get his advice as far as what that other material might be within the calculations the professor is using. Which, of course, Nora knows based on her interaction with him that it's likely the book in some way. But
that'll just invite a lot of questions that I don't have answers to.
Exactly. It'll just cause more questions and create any sort of answers, really, at this point.
Yep.
So as you all got back to the car, about to leave the movie set and everything, and you start kind of following everybody back to the motel, you, Forrest, while you were driving, you realized that the drive felt kind of familiar to you, like you've done it a couple times before. So like after just maybe like a minute or so of it, you didn't really need to follow anybody anymore. You kind of felt like you knew where you were. And during the drive, who is probably in the front passenger seat?
I imagine that would be Nora.
Yeah.
Okay. Nora, you found
probably just out of habit
the little center console area, or at least in that, I think in this time period, there was just a straight seat in the front.
Yeah, there would have been just a straight seat.
So in the center space between those two front seats or whatnot, you notice amongst some of the other belongings that you had, like you put your bag there. Forrest probably had a bag of some things with him in general. But amongst that, you find keys to the motel. And it looks like there's, the 2 keys, the one for the room that Forrest and Rocco are in, and then the one that's for the room Nora and Cherry are in. So it seems as though you've all already checked in to the motel.
Mhm.
And then you got back to the motel. Forrest, you noticed in the distance that Arthur Adams was talking with the director, Irving Lerner, and that's when you recognize, yep, that's the one suspected Soviet spy that he's apparently took in under short notice for whatever reason. Irving Lerner didn't necessarily look happy about the situation from a distance, but Arthur, looked like he was desperate enough that Irving kind of just let him in his room. So Arthur seems to be staying with the director in his room at the moment. And then you noticed across the parking lot, kind of on the opposite side of it, I'd say, from where the director's room is. So the motel itself is all the doors, of course, face outside. There isn't necessarily a second floor, but the motel is in the shape of a U.
Okay.
So you drive in on one side, and then it's all the rooms on the inside of the U for the most part. So at the tip of one of the U's, let's say on the right side of it, if you're looking top down, is the room the director's in, right next to the administration office
Okay.
for it. And then directly, almost directly across the parking lot from that room is the room that these 2 rather large, kind of mysterious individuals are. I was thinking that Nora and Cherry's room is kind of in either the center of you or off to like the right corner or something of it. And then yours is on the right side, but just a couple doors down from it.
Okay.
And as you noticed last time, there's a new vehicle in the lot. Like you feel like you remember the rest of the vehicles and whose, vehicle is whose, but this one is not one that you remember seeing here before. Even though, I mean, you don't remember a lot of the past 10 days, but like you got a gut feeling that this one's out of place. And it's just a very nondescript kind of 4-door style sedan. Looks like it's in decent enough condition, but dirty in the sense that it's probably been driving a lot recently. The license plate on it looks like it's probably the same way, like it's rather new, but it's got a lot of dirt and everything like that from driving a lot on it. And the plate itself is an Illinois dealer plate that has the year marking on it, indicating that it was made this year.
Okay. Well, I would note that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that seems very suspicious in the sense that, all right, either these 2 guys are car salesmen for some reason driving all the way out to California from Illinois, or these 2 odd gentlemen just got their car from a dealer's lot. And
And
yeah.
Sorry to
Go
not
ahead.
to interrupt, but I'm just thinking with Nora's particular level of paranoia at the moment with the missing memories and
Mhm.
everything else, she pulls out her kind of catch-all notebook and she's going to jot down all of the vehicles in the lot
Mhm.
and their license plates,
Mhm.
and she's going to keep track of them.
Okay.
Okay.
You go to your
With
notebook
missing memories
to-
and the reason we're here, it
Yeah.
feels pertinent.
Well-
do you go and check into your room when you get there? Essentially, see how that room is and everything? Or do you start doing like the notes before you go to your room?
She'd start doing the notes before even like getting out of the car.
Okay.
Okay.
That sounds fair.
All right. Let's looking at her. All right. You can't see all of them. So let's walk out.
And Cherry's taking note of it too. It seems like
Yeah.
she's taking a mental note.
Yep. So
Of
when
it.
we walk out, I'll walk you to the. We'll walk to the first couple. You got a good sight line. We have a good sight line from the from your front door.
Mhm.
We'll grab a seat, Nora, and we'll make it look like it's some kind of game that a couple is playing. Okay. So that you're not just being overtly noting down every night and noting down everything. Okay, sound good?
That's fine with me, but it's unlikely that anyone would take notice of me if we have been here for a time already.
That's true.
It's likely they would be familiar with my notebook.
Yeah. Okay.
This is you guys are in like a whole nother level. I'm not used to this. This is weird. This is new. I'm here to fix things. That's what I was told. I was told you guys needed somebody to keep things from breaking.
And
Oh.
you've done very good at that thus far.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. No, you have kept stuff from breaking. It's just this is a weird situation. I ain't gonna say it's not, man. Trust
We
me.
did establish last week that he is also missing memories, yes?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
He's,
I have no idea how I got from nightmare to fixing a set.
Right,
Yeah.
okay.
And you went
And
from
they-
cafe to nightmare to fixing a set. So
Yeah, okay.
yeah, that's a commonality between everybody right now in the sense that they were all in the cafe. They had this weird vision, dream, whatever it was. Everybody had their own one based on their history, it seemed. And then you all started remembering at the same point, pretty much about 10 days later on the movie set. While you all get there, a person from craft services, so to speak, for the movie sets going around with bags of food for everybody. And it's kind of like they pass by where you are and hand them out to you. It looks like it's just some fast food from Carl Jr.'s, which was a hot dog cart. But they started having more of a restaurant around that time. And it's one of the 4 fast food places that exist right now. So, not much.
Okay. I didn't even know they existed back then.
Yeah. Apparently 1941 is when Carl Jr.'s had their
Okay.
first hot dog cart. And 1945 is when they actually opened their first restaurant.
Okay.
And since you guys are near Los Angeles is actually where they got started. So I was like, hey, that's perfect. They hand out food, hot dogs, other various quick food, drinks, that sort of thing. And nothing necessarily fancy.
Yep.
And you get the impression that that's kind of the way it's been on the movie set, that financially the movie is backed enough to make it and to secure people like Gene Autry and whatnot in the movie. But other than that, they're probably cutting costs here and there
Yeah.
to try to keep it going.
Yeah. Is this the one where he was like he had to play out his contract?
Yeah.
So I knew there was a movie he had to.
Yeah, he was talking to Rocco earlier on how when he just came back from the war himself, and he really just wanted to do the business end of it. Like he didn't want to necessarily do an acting thing again, but he has a contract he has to finish. So he has a certain amount of pictures that he has to do for the for Republic Pictures, which is the one making the movie.
Okay, so this is them. This is them milking him.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay.
And you do see that the producer, Herbert Yates, has a room here with his wife and everything, which, let's see, I think it was either Forrest or Rocco that noticed this earlier. But it seems Herbert is trying to get his wife apart in the movie.
Yeah, I think
that was me. I was overhearing the discussions.
Yeah. Doesn't seem like that's going over too well, but it's probably going to happen, being that he's a producer. So, yeah, Nora, you're jotting down what notes you can and everything, kind of trying to do it in a little bit of a nondescript way. Someone walked by with food and handed it to everybody. What are, I guess, you all doing? Rocco, are you doing anything specific? You have the key to your room and everything. That's the same one for you and Forrest. Seems like just one key for each room. There's not like a copy of one or anything.
We're still on set when we get all this, but we haven't head back to the hotel yet.
Oh, you're at the hotel now.
Okay.
Yeah, you got the motel rather.
Yeah, we had the keys in the car. So
yeah.
Is there somewhere for us to is there a little picnic area or something for us to sit and eat? So that way I don't get shit in the room?
Not necessarily. Like, there are some benches outside the rooms, kind of along the walls under where the windows from the rooms are, but that's really it.
And I'll let Force was like, hey, I'm gonna go sit near the room, but I'm not gonna eat in the room. I don't want to bring bugs inside.
All right.
all right. Yeah, just grab a seat outside and sit down and dig into the, the nutritious repast that they have given us.
We've eaten worse.
Yeah.
I mean,
Especially anyone who's been on the front lines. But
Yes.
say, the rations were worse than this.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They were. But less chemicals.
Yeah. Go ahead and give me some spot hidden rolls while you're all sitting outside still eating.
No, please don't make me roll this way.
Nice. Good job, Forrest.
Holy crap, I succeeded.
Nicely done,
Wow,
Rocco.
Nice.
And Nora, all right.
I told you, Nora's got that paranoid eye.
Yeah. As you're sitting there, Nora, jotting down your notes and everything and eating every once in a while. I mean, you notice the same thing I'm going to describe to the other two as well. But in addition, like, as you're looking around, the sun's kind of setting. It's getting late in the day. But you're actually able to catch a couple extra plates from just reflections in windows while you're looking around, and you jot them down that way real quick. Realizing that some of them are probably mirrored in the reflection, you're like, oh, okay, no, it's this kind of thing. And you catch most of the plates that are in there. There's still a couple cars you can't really tell. And of course, the plate that Forrest pointed out. The dealer
Illinois
plate from
plate,
Ohio,
yeah.
from Illinois, rather.
Yep.
Where'd Ohio come from?
I don't know.
I mean, to be fair, Ohio has the most astronauts per capita, so clearly everything wants to get out of Ohio.
Wow.
You experience
Strange
Ohio,
that
you just want to
Ohio.
get off the planet, apparently.
I
All
don't
right.
think you're wrong, but I wasn't going to be that brutal.
Hey, I love vacationing in Ohio. It's a good time sometimes.
I have a lot of fun
Who
in Ohio.
vacations in Ohio?
Technically,
People from Michigan,
yeah.
right?
I'll say Tom, I'm surprised you have anything nice to say about Ohio. Every time you go there, there's car problems.
Is what
The municipality is evil, but the
Yeah.
people there are nice, and I have a lot of
Yes.
fun. So
there you go. There's a amusement park in Ohio that a lot of people from Michigan like to frequent when they can. But anyways, so with that, Nora, you also notice what Rocco and Forrest notice, where they are moving a couple of the supplies for the various aspects of the movie into the director's room. It seems like some of the various tools or like smaller supplies used to help repair or doctor up some of the sets, things like that. It seems like they're using that as just a staging room to keep it out from the weather. Like they don't have a trailer or anything that they're keeping it in at the moment. But you all also noticed that they're taking the reels of film that they've been recording on in there. And let's see. No one has art for this necessarily. Based on what you know of the film industry, which I'm assuming is kind of limited, or everybody that's not Cherry. There's a couple reels that they bring in, which makes you feel like they've been filming for longer than just today. And you still see Irving and Arthur kind of talking, both seeming a little agitated while they're loading some of the items in. And as far as the mysterious gentleman across the way, you still see their silhouettes, through their curtain in the window in their room. They're moving around. It's not like they're statically standing in the same spot. There was one point where the person from craft services ended up knocking on their door. And, they answered it, opened the door and everything. It seemed like, see, Nora, you got an extreme success. So you have Russian, right?
Yes.
Go ahead and give me a roll.
Sorry, I had to scroll through my list of languages.
Yeah, your long list of languages.
Ooh.
Oh no! So he replies in something that you recognize isn't English.
Right.
And there seems to be a little bit of confusion. Like it seems like he's trying to wave him away, doesn't understand, what's going on. And then eventually just like takes the two bags that the person was trying to hand them and just closes the door and goes back into the room.
And I even recognize it as Russian.
It's definitely more of I guess a guttural European language. It might be German, it might be Russian.
Okay, so it was Slavic
hard,
of some kind.
Yeah, Slavic. Thank you. Hard consonants, that sort of thing. If I'm describing my languages properly. But the gentleman was, very shortcut, very uniformed hair. Seems very militaristic. Definitely broad-shouldered, kind of athletic, wearing a very casual, basic kind of suit. That's just very plain colors, right? Like you weren't quite sure if it was a dark gray or black or anything from the distance that you were at, but yeah, closes the door.
Hey, Andrew.
Mm-hmm.
One thing Forrest is going to do.
Yeah.
Because unless they were probably a lot more concerned with it. He had a 6-shooter on his hip, right?
Mm-hmm. Which is
He-
probably with blanks,
yes.
but yeah.
He would have swapped the 6-shooter with one with actually live rounds at some point.
Yeah.
Most likely
Which
he would have held it under
I
the
believe they
seat.
did on movie sets too, so you probably had some
Okay, I
live
could.
rounds that they issued you for the movie too.
Yeah, I could just
Yeah. And that's probably all typically controlled by the costume department, but I'm sure you either would have had some just from your daily job anyways,
Yeah, it'd be easy
or
enough to get
swipe
it.
some from
Yeah.
the props
Yes.
place. Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah. No. With a no. I just figured I wanted to establish that his prop 6 gun is actually loaded with
Yes. Yes.
something real.
Let's see. Yeah, let's see. There are 32 revolvers. That's probably what it is, because they didn't necessarily need it to be that high of a caliber necessarily. They just needed it to be a 6-shooter that looked like it,
Yeah.
kind of belonged, right? So yeah, go ahead and give me a luck roll, I guess.
A luck roll. Okay.
Yes. Okay. So you definitely have one full blanking on the term, but you have 6 shots
Yeah.
of actual bullets. And you probably have like 2 extra beyond that of actual ones,
Okay.
but that's about it.
Yep.
Whether or not you've already fired some at this point, you're not sure. It does to you seem like you fired the firearm at some point already.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't remember firing it necessarily. Yeah, you all finish up your food. After a little while, there's a taxi that seems to show up as you are all finishing and kind of like getting ready to throw away what's left of the bags and everything your food came in. And out from the taxi is this let's see here, where'd my cursor go?
Nope. Don't know what I clicked on.
I don't know either. It looks really weird. Okay.
Is it the mystery woman?
Yes.
Oh.
She has kind of like dark curly hair, a typical dress that most women during the day would just casually wear.
Yep.
Gets out of the car. Go ahead and give me a psychology roll, everybody. That's
Okay.
see,
Forrest would pop up and
at least you assume it's the mystery woman. I mean,
well, yeah, that's I'm assuming it's a mystery
yeah.
woman. Would pop up and kind of start to make his way over there, looking to help her with her bags is his plan.
Okay.
Whether or not,
I will. Yeah, I think I would see her. So that.
Oh,
spectacular failure!
Wow.
Come on,
man. I mean, I could at least fix it, but I don't.
Right. Yeah. You don't necessarily need to.
I've already fixated on what I think is happening.
Right.
So
Nora and Rocco. Rocco. You see a good out of the car. Everything seems fine and normal to you. Nora, it seems like she kind of lost her balance a little bit. Like she's, a little clumsy kind of thing. Like that's about it. Other
I
than that, she's
sympathize.
completely fine. Right. Right. Forrest, you couldn't quite tell if she lost her balance a little bit or whatnot, but as you walked over there, you started to kind of tell that she's a couple drinks in,
Okay.
so to speak. She still seems to have control over herself
Mm-hmm.
for the most part, but yeah, she's
Okay.
already been drinking a little bit.
He's gonna actually. He's not really. He's just gonna go over. Evening, ma'am. Would you need any help with the bags or anything like that?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Uh,
You can give me a charm roll if you want.
no. Honestly, he was just trying to be helpful, so it wasn't
Right,
like he
right,
was
and
like
that's fine. That's
yeah.
why I said if you want. but,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I'll make it just so that if
Yeah.
if it
To
clicks,
see if something happens, right?
yeah, if
No.
it clicks, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, man. Well, you have a good night unless you need
Yeah.
something.
Yeah. Which room is Irving in?
Oh, I'll walk you over. I can walk you over. He's right over here.
I can go there myself. Right over there.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. I'm
Yep.
good.
Second, and
And she kind of like gives
and
you a little bit of a berth as she walks around you, and
yep. No, I
Goes
point
off
out,
where the room is.
second from the end, ma'am. I tip my hat
Thank
to
you.
her, and
kind of goes. She definitely gives you a similar vibe that Nora's kind of giving you right now, in the sense of someone who's very paranoid
okay.
at the moment, and probably a little more stressed than they normally are. You also get a feeling that she's feels similar in the sense of like intelligence level as well.
Okay. I can't.
Maybe not as smart as Nora, but you definitely like.
I
Yeah.
can't.
You wouldn't know that without a.
Yeah, I can't resist.
Yeah.
I can't remember her name, what her name was, but Forrest knows.
Yeah. It's Elizabeth was
Yeah.
the first name.
Well, what's her last? What was her last? Was it just Elizabeth?
You just heard the first name. You didn't know what the last name was because it wasn't a name on the list.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Miss Elizabeth, you have a good night now. You hear? And then
And,
he turns around and walks
kinda,
away.
Like, stops as she's walking, and then like picks up her pace a little bit and heads over to
Okay.
Irving's room.
So I could tell by the sound of her footbeats. I spoke to her.
Yeah. She you might not necessarily be somebody that she trusts at the moment.
I wasn't somebody she trusted before.
Right. Yeah. It's not much has really changed.
Right.
But yeah, you see that she's talking with Irving and everything. And Irving like does one of these numbers where it seems like he's nursing a bit of a headache. I was like, seems confused during their conversation, and then just goes to the admin room with her, comes out with a key after a little bit, and then takes her to one of the rooms that one of the crew are staying at.
Okay.
Probably some of the other women that are working on set.
Yep. Probably one of the assistants or whatever.
Right.
All right. Do the lanky cowboy seat with the hat down just
All right.
far so they can't see my eyes, but I can see everything I need to see.
All right. Do any of you actually go into your room yet?
I'm worried that you're pushing for that to happen.
Once I finish dinner, if I'm not seeing anything else that's even possibly catching my eye, I'm just gonna head into the room and
Okay.
I'll leave the door unlocked since Forrest isn't there yet.
Okay. Give me a spot hidden as you go in. All right, the fun roll.
There are days where I do ranking on the Bryant brothers, and I'm just saying yours is going to be adjusted a little bit.
Yeah, I was debating just how long we could
You roll
stall.
so terribly.
Yeah. So as you walk in,
It's not his fault I rolled terribly, but it is his fault I had to roll.
Yes. Yeah, you walk in and you see that either you or Forrest already have some belongings in here. They're already in different spots or whatnot. Kind of hard to tell how long you've been here, but it definitely seems like you were already, checked in and at least slept here once before. I don't know if Forrest is the militaristic type that would have made his bed and like had everything in its place,
Yeah,
or not.
has
Okay.
to have it in its place,
Okay.
packed up, so that if we have to
Okay.
go, we can go.
Yeah. So Rocco, what kind of person are you in that regard?
I'm not exactly. Everything is in its place, but in case I have to go, everything's in its place, so that way I know where to find it when I need to fix something.
Right.
You put the tool back where you picked it up from.
So it's not a mess necessarily when you walk in. It's organized, but you can tell that there's some of your belongings in different spots, both yours and somebody else's that you assume is Forrest's, right? Would you have made the bed if you slept?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So both of the beds are made, but you can tell that you both have probably slept in them already, because they don't have the same corners in the sheets that the hotel probably would have done. It's more militaristic style.
Yeah, no, you have to bounce the quarter off of it.
Exactly. But like just from that, you can tell. Okay, we've at least either changed the sheets or corrected the way they were on the bed or slept in them.
Yeah, I mean,
it's more likely you slept in them at this point, at least once.
In fact, that's probably the one thing. There is probably a quarter in the middle of my bed, unless somebody from there swiped it.
There's still a quarter in the middle of one of the beds.
Yep.
Which kind of triggers your memory that that's Forrest's bed.
Yeah, I again, not spy trained, never did much of that, so
that's
I don't have the any of that stuff.
Other than that, the room, it seems like housekeeping might have come through. You're not sure. It's either they came through or neither you or Forrest generated much in the way of trash or did anything with towels or anything, because that's all as it should be, right? It's not like it looks like anything's used necessarily in that sense. Nora, while you're finishing up dinner and everything and still kind of scoping out the parking lot, Cherry comes up to you after a little bit after she checked out the room that you two are staying in, and we've apparently been in our room for at least a couple nights. It's hard to tell exactly how long, but at least a couple, and we already have some of our stuff in there.
Yeah, yes, that sounds right, probably.
Okay. I was just seeing if you remembered anything about, or if that helped
no.
remember anything about when we got here. Okay.
No, but I will, Forrest, she'll tell him, like, I missed these cars over here. So if you manage to catch them while you're outside, I'd be grateful if you noted them down. Would you like extra ice tonight?
No, I think it'd be better if you're in a room. I'm gonna sit out here tonight, but it's and then I say it kind of loudly in case anybody's paying attention to us. These beds are gonna be they've been too soft. I got to get my head into the cowboy bow thing. So I'm gonna take a bedroll out and sleep out here. Get my head in the right spot. But yeah, you head in. I'll be right out here if you need something.
All right. I will see if the room sheds any more light on the last few days.
All
That
right,
sounds good. I'll get the other numbers.
Nora
Miss-
and Forrest, give me a spot hidden
Yep.
roll.
Had to fail one eventually.
Right.
Oh no!
Oh,
No! 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 No!
Oh,
No! That's not. No, I'm
I do
buying
want to
that to
say, other than luck, I mentioned this, I think, the first session, but I want to reiterate, you can push a roll.
Oh,
How
And
does
you
that
can
work?
re-roll it to see if you get a success, but if you get a failure, the consequences are worse than they otherwise would have been.
keep forgetting about
I'm
that.
pushing.
Yeah.
I think I want to push this,
Okay.
Yeah.
even though it's really cheap to buy down with luck. I wanna.
Right.
Yeah. No.
Oh.
Oh,
For the fluff's sake.
all right. Yeah. What is
Oh, what the? I will follow her example. He was
Taking
looking.
chances.
He was looking a little too deep in her eyes and was distracted. And then wait, I can't do. I'm not supposed to do this. So he looks away and okay.
Oh, that's
One-
close, though. You can still buy that down with luck.
I will buy that one down with luck because he has to look away because it's not appropriate.
I should have just spent luck on my first roll.
Yeah, that's the funny
Because
part.
I'm not spending 11 to buy that
Yeah.
to a success.
So Nora, you're still you're mainly focused on, all right, let's see what this room has got going on with it at the moment.
Yeah.
So you're going that way because this was to notice something in a different direction. Forrest, however, you just happen to be glancing in the direction, like while you're out there with everybody, and you see. It seems as though Elizabeth and one of the women that she was bunking with for the moment
Yep,
got into some sort of argument,
it's a surprise.
and she ends up being kind of like almost kicked out of the room, and Irving has to deal with what's going on there, and is now seems very just frustrated, and seems like he has to go back to the admin office and find another room for her.
Nope, can't do it. I could solve it for
Nora,
him, but I'm not going to solve
right.
it for him because I would.
Nora,
Nora in
while you
danger.
go in to your room and everything, yeah, it looks like you've been here at least a couple days, maybe longer. You're not quite sure. But as you are in there for a little bit, kind of seeing, you already have some of your belongings in the usual places that you would kind of put them as if you've been here a little bit. And you notice in one of your bits of luggage, it's a closed bag and everything. It looks nondescript, but you recognize it's one of your radio devices that were given to you from the Venona project. That would receive messages to be decrypted and everything.
Mm-hmm.
As far as how you keep your room, how would you generally do it?
I feel like Nora is the lives out of her suitcase while traveling type.
Mhm.
So she doesn't unpack her clothes into the wardrobe.
Right.
It basically kind of like Forrest in that it's ready to grab and go at any time, but more that I just don't feel like taking the effort necessary to unpack anything when this is a short-term stay. So why would I bother?
So it's all in the bags already.
Yeah.
Or still. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly the way I do.
Right. Yeah. That's probably part of the reason why it's hard to tell how long you've been here.
Oh, definitely.
Would you make your
Except
bed or?
Oh no. No.
Okay. Yeah, you can definitely tell from your bed. At least that's probably the main clue that you've slept here at least a couple times. I'm not going to decide how Cherry keeps her room because I'm going to let Christina figure that one out. But yeah, from the looks of it, your sister. It looks like it's been at least a couple days. Go Go ahead and give me a listen roll.
Shoot. Oh, hello.
Oh, nice. Yeah, as you're going through, it's kind of difficult for you to hear it because it's a little faint, it's a little muffled, but it does sound to you like a message is coming over the radio that you have
Oh.
packed.
Okay.
And Cherry makes sure the door to the room is closed and everything, so you don't have anybody, the chance of anybody peeking in or overhearing necessarily.
Yeah.
Because even though she doesn't know you're on the same mission she essentially is in, she knows that you do, cryptography work still every once in a while, and knows to
Yeah.
respect the secrecy that you have with that. So do you go over and open up the case to take a look?
Yes.
All right. Go ahead and give me a cryptography roll.
Oh, extreme success. That's a 2.
Nice. So you see that this message seems as though it's been kind of like replaying every once in a while to try to get it to you, so to speak. It's probably been going since earlier today when after you were all left for the movie set. And it's essentially it is dated for November 6th, which was yesterday. So the message didn't necessarily come to you until this morning, but it was initially sent yesterday. Yeah. And I will give you access to that real quick. So it should be in one of your handouts now.
Yep.
And I mean, you decrypt the whole thing. Like, you have all of it. Any of the names that are on there that are in all caps are code names. You know what some of them mean. Some of them are new. But if you could go ahead and read the message.
Okay. All right. Uh-huh. Okay.
Yeah, I've heard that from I've GM'd her enough. I've heard her say
Right.
stuff like that before, Andrew. Yeah, okay.
Want me to read it aloud for the stream?
Yeah, that's what I was going for. Yeah.
All right. So in full, it is from New York to Moscow, number 1062, 6 November 1945. To Victor, a traitor to the fatherland Myrna has been tailed to a spot south of Babylon. Nazar and Igor have been sent from Tyre to track her for liquidation. Anton.
And Victor, from what people have been able to figure out in the Venona project, is like the main contact over in Moscow. Every message that goes to Moscow is made out to it for the most part. Anton is definitely whoever's the head of the Soviet spy ring that's based out of New York. Babylon is in reference to San Francisco, which is north of where you all are right now. The names Myrna, Nazar, and Igor aren't ones you're necessarily familiar with. Tyre is in reference to what is believed to be the code name for New York. Or not New York, Chicago.
Yeah, so the
Illinois plates.
Right.
And I'm sure you know what they mean by liquidation. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's.
And as you're done decrypting that and everything, it takes a little bit of time.
Yeah.
But as you're done decrypting that, it doesn't take you that long necessarily. You get another message starting to come in.
Okay.
Go ahead and give me another cryptography roll.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
Success. All right.
All right, this one takes
remember to mark
a
that.
little bit longer. But you get this one.
She's probably forcing herself to slow down as she's trying. Nora doesn't panic. Nora doesn't panic. Nora doesn't panic. Calm down until you have all the information.
Yep. All right. So yeah, you should have that one now. It's from dated for today, so it probably happened earlier today. And I'll let you do essentially the same thing.
Okay. All right. From San Francisco to Moscow, number 569, 7 November 1945. To Victor. Al verified Myrna as a traitor. Myrna is to meet with Lerner in a motel just outside of Los Angeles, south of Babylon. She thinks she is safe. Achilles will intercept until her trackers arrive. Karen.
And that's the spelling that they used historically. I'm assuming it's in reference to Karen, the ferryman of the River Styx.
Ferryman of the River Styx. Yeah.
Which you know is the head of whatever rings based out of San Francisco. Achilles is someone that, as far as you know, is like a courier or someone that's maybe not necessarily a head of a spy ring, but kind of possibly like a second in command kind of person.
Mm-hmm.
And at this point, I'm sure you're very certain that Myrna is in reference to Elizabeth.
Yeah.
But that means you have 3 codenamed individuals that are here to deal with Elizabeth in some way. And with that, I think it's probably a good time to go to break. Let you all figure out.
Yeah, not bad.
What you're gonna do with that.
Nicely timed.
Yeah.
Give me plenty of time to strategically plan out the bull in the china shop routine.
Right. That's kind of
what
I expected would happen at some point, right?
No.
So this should be fun.
Right, we'll be back in 10, folks.
Welcome back, everybody. It's Shadows and Knocks, and we'll get back right into the curtain call that we're playing through today. If you missed the stream a little bit earlier today, essentially they have discovered a bit more about what's going on with a Soviet spy ring in the area, and the potential that some of those Soviet spies are kind of converging on their area to get rid of a traitor to them in a less than casual or nice way. So now we get to see what the group gets to do about it. So, Nora, you just finished decrypting that last message. What do you do with that?
Well, I need to tell Forrest ASAP.
All right. Rocco, what do you do in kind of the time that you have in the room? I'm assuming you're kind of doing like a normal kind of getting ready to turn in for the day kind of thing. But what is that routine for you, if there is a routine?
I had a few thoughts on that. So, he cleans up. He cleans himself up in case he's been doing, because like today was a day where he got a little sweaty, so he would, shower, bathe, or whatever.
Okay.
But he will spend some time with his book on the Antikythera device and a notebook he has of his own, where he's just trying to figure out like how to rebuild, how to make something like that kind of thing. It's just
Okay.
still his fascinating thing.
Sounds good. You still take like military style showers? Kind of
Oh
thing?
yeah, I'm not wasting. I ain't got no
Yeah,
time for
my based on the way Nora's rolls and how good they were, I'm assuming it doesn't take her that long. From my understanding, sometimes doing the decrypting can take a little bit, but I'll kind of state it took maybe like 10 minutes for her with both messages, especially because I think the first one was what, an extreme success?
Yeah.
Yeah, I rolled a 2.
Yeah. Yeah, that's almost a complete like critical ridiculous success. That's amazing. So yeah, in the 10 minutes time, like, you showered and everything and starting to really get into the book and starting to jot down notes. Probably when Nora would be leaving her room, but you'd still be in yours. So whether or not you overhear anything, we'll figure out. In that time, Forrest, after seeing that Irving is having difficulty trying to figure out a good spot to just put Elizabeth for one night, it seems that they are both still oblivious to the mystery car that's parked in the parking lot.
Yep.
What did you do in those 10 minutes? Just kind of like make up your little bedroll on one of the benches, or?
Honestly, probably still just kind of just doing that lanky, stretched out, long legs stretched out, get back with the thing. I don't necessarily want to set up the bedroll yet because it's not dark yet, right?
It's not. Like, the sun is going down,
Yeah.
but it's like twilight.
Yep. No. So
Okay.
just sitting out.
And there's still lights on the outside of the motel and everything,
Right.
so it's not like it's not lit.
So yeah, just sitting out, stretched, and essentially stealthily watching the show. Stealthily watching the show with a lot more skill than you just did with your headset.
Right, yeah. I had an itch on my ear, and apparently my whole headset decided it just didn't want to be there anymore.
Yeah. So yeah, I'd be doing the whole stretch out maneuver, watching the show, trying to hear anything I can hear of the two of them. Because that's the
give me a spot hidden then.
Okay.
And then also a listen.
Yep. I mean, I think I was in a spot where I could see the mystery.
Yeah.
The mystery. Okay. So spot hidden.
Yeah.
Extreme success.
Nice.
And a listen. Critical success.
Wow.
Okay. So.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
Well, he's on it when it counts.
Yep.
Right. I don't know if adrenaline would pick someone's senses up this much, but apparently it is at the moment. So you find a good spot to camp, kind of thing. Even like the acoustics of the way they're kind of moving through the motel right now are kind of helping you overhear some of the conversations. Elizabeth is not that agreeable of a person at the moment. She's paranoid enough that she suspects just about anybody. Doesn't even necessarily seems like she feels like she should trust Irving at this point, but she also doesn't seem like she feels like she has a choice,
right,
in the matter. You overhear a bit of Irving talking in the sense of, like, look, I don't know why you called me about this. I don't know anything. I don't want to know anything about any of this. And Elizabeth keeps going on about, she's just, there are potentially people after her and she's trying to lay low. She came all the way to the other side of the country to try to get away from them. And she feels like somebody was following her, but thankfully she hasn't seen anybody recently. And everything's just like, look, I don't understand even what you're telling me right now. Let's just find you a room and get you in it so you can sleep off whatever it is you've had tonight and get out of here tomorrow. All right. I don't need this messing up my movie right now. It's already starting to fall apart, it feels, between the producer wanting his wife in this thing, money's starting to run out. We filmed a little over half of this already. Like we don't need to deal with this. We're like day 5, almost day 6 of the production. I don't need you messing this up. And with your spot hidden, like you see their conversation just fine, right?
Yeah.
But you also kind of see out of the corner of your eye that the 2 mysterious gentlemen across the way have definitely taken notice of Elizabeth. And based on what you can tell, like you kind of like nonchalantly glance over enough that you definitely get the feeling they're kind of waiting for the right moment to do what they need to so that they wouldn't necessarily be seen doing it. But you also feel that they're the type that don't care if they necessarily get seen doing it either.
Yep.
It would just be cleaner and easier afterwards if they didn't get seen.
Okay, so I'm spotting them looking out the window.
Mm-hmm. Talking with each other and everything.
Yeah, talking with each other behind the stuff. It's just the right stuff so I could see. And I've been stationary long enough, unless somebody's really looking for me, I'm not really noticed.
Right.
So,
and that's probably a bulk of some of the 10 minutes that you had. Like most of it was just overhearing this conversation between Elizabeth and Irving. And right towards the end of it, you hear what you recognize as Nora's door open quickly as she's starting to head out quickly. At least I'm assuming you were, because you wanted to tell him as quickly as you could.
She tried to not be so obvious about
Right.
it.
Like, being that he got a 1 on his listen check, I think even if it wasn't obvious, he picked up on it, right?
Yeah, okay, he definitely picked up on it. But to try not to alert, because I already know exactly what room those 2 are in that we need to keep an eye out for.
Right, exactly.
Yep.
I just have to figure out who the 3rd is.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah.
Okay. Hopefully she gets the gist of it. Yeah. Crap. No, he doesn't. Well, no, I was going through all the stuff. It's like, he doesn't, I already decided tobacco's out for him, so he doesn't have chewing gum. He doesn't have chewing tobacco he can shoot. You know what?
Ooh, now that you think about it, Nora's definitely a smoker.
Yep.
That would actually make sense too, right? Yeah.
I actually got to the point today where I was like, I need a cigarette to deal with the stress I'm dealing with, but there's nothing for her telling her not to smoke.
Right. Yeah. So
she definitely will use a smoke break as an excuse to come take a seat next. Yeah, she'll just take a seat next to Forrest, light up a cigarette, and tell him the barest bones as quick as she can what is going on.
Okay. Do the guys across when she just
comes
out
using her hand with the cigarette as she's bringing it up to you basically mask the fact that she's speaking to him and
Ryan, go ahead and give me a listen check while they talk.
All right.
Does the spot across the way notice us or notice her?
It seems like they might have, but they don't necessarily take note of it in a sense that you're worried. Just enough that they're like, okay, they're probably not going to do anything right this second.
Yep.
Because somebody's just walked out to have a smoke break.
Okay. right.
With the roll I got, I'm not even sure I hear
Tom,
the
you have-
pencil scratching the paper in front of me.
Yeah. Like you're still kind of like wiping a towel on your ears and everything, cleaning it out.
You
Whoever
have
was there from the
mod
shower.
powers on the Twitch, right, Tom?
Sorry about that. Yep, I wasn't looking. Let me pull. What is?
Wow.
I just realized I didn't.
Jeez. Okay, give me a second.
So, that aside,
Neutrally sexually explicit.
yeah. Nora,
Yes.
what do you do as you head out? You light up a cigarette and everything, and you.
Yeah, she's just gonna like sit pretty comfortably next to Forrest, light up a cigarette,
Mhm.
and as she's smoking, tell Forrest, Elizabeth is Elizabeth is a traitor, that there are 3 people hereafter, 2 of which are in that room right over there.
Yeah. Right.
A
yeah.
lot.
No.
Basically
I
that.
assume it's a lot stealthier because
Oh yeah.
I mean, you have a mic. You're trying to make sure
Yeah.
everybody hears it, right? Yeah. No, I got it.
Yeah, it's more of a under the breath
Exactly.
sort of Voce thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so just
Yeah. So she relayed that Moscow has labeled Elizabeth as a traitor,
yep.
and that there are people here to liquidate her, potentially 3.
Okay. Crap. How about we get Cherry to go down and offer her a spot in your room, because it's probably time for Cherry to take her. Based on the evidence you found, it's time for her to go talk to some people, and if we can get her into your room, we can bag her and get her out of here, with hopefully me not having to shoot anybody.
That is preferred, yes.
I would prefer that too. And Cherry's the talker of us, so Cherry can go.
And Nora, like you can kind of see and overhear Irving and Elizabeth arguing in the distance over by the director's room.
Tell you what, I'll go keep things from getting too ridiculous, and you go get Cherry. Sorry, Andrew, that's like the only thing I could think of that would make.
No, that's fine. That
There's
works.
there's no way he would send Nora anywhere near that couple.
No, I wasn't expecting you to, so it's fine.
But he'll do that.
Nora looks like she's considering offering to, and then probably finally catches why he didn't.
Yeah, no,
because
it's
smart.
pretty. Yeah, it's pretty insistent. Cherry,
and it's probably like
over.
while you're talking, Cherry kind of makes her way out, kind of like she's, going somewhere just for a second or whatnot, and passes you by and whispers, "It's like, what's going on?" All right, as she's.
Yeah. Go offer a space in our room for Miss Elizabeth, please.
She just kind of nods and just like keeps walking. Like she didn't even necessarily like slow down her casual pace as she walks by both of you.
Okay.
And she goes, talks with Irving and Elizabeth, and seems to help calm that situation down, and just walks Elizabeth back towards her room.
Okay, she's good at this. I didn't think anything would calm that woman down.
Irving seems rather relieved as well. And just goes back towards his room.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Unless you wanted to interact with him anyway.
It was just
yeah.
a matter of he was looking over in this direction.
I mean, he would generally be, because
Yeah.
that's the way Elizabeth went. But yeah,
I just give him a tip of the hat of between guys.
Yeah.
It's it's a guy thing.
All right.
So that
And like he actually gives you a nod and everything.
Yep.
And does one of these motions, like, and heads back towards her room.
Yep. Nope. I just established he owes me.
All right.
I'm gonna go make sure. Actually, she gets him in there, or
Mhm.
she gets Carrie gets Elizabeth in the room.
Yes, she does. Where's that? Actually, let me take a look at the first one. Okay. Nora, based on the extreme success you got with one of your cryptography rolls and the fact that the other one was also still a rather good success.
Dang it.
Huh?
Sorry, I was writing notes of things that have been determined, like the smell, like just for my own future reference, and I started writing what you were saying.
Oh,
So the last
I'll
word
give you a
became
moment. That's
success
fine.
instead of cologne.
Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead.
Dr. Sommerfeld has a very distinctive
Yeah.
cologne, is what I'm assuming you're writing. Yeah.
Yeah, and just I remembered to you asked for me to keep in mind whether or not
this might not exactly be what the cologne smells like, but like the best description I could have for it, if you want to write it down. And I don't know if you yourself have ever smelled this, but it's like chocolate tobacco. Is kind of a similar scent the way his cologne is. It's a very earthy kind of one.
Okay.
Earthy, smoky, that sort of thing. Since you're writing down that note at the moment, anyways, right?
It's just things that have been determined about her, like character, like the fact that she smokes.
Right. Which is also why Nora, I'm sure, is at least familiar with what that cologne scent kind of reminds her of.
I wonder why she hates it then.
Yeah, like
maybe it's
whether
chocolate.
right, yeah, maybe like to her it doesn't really mix very well. I don't know in this time period if they actually have that kind of tobacco, so it might just be an odd mix to her. It's like, why would you do that kind of thing? But yeah.
Fair enough. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah.
I was like, as you were talking about success, and my brain started writing success.
But so because of that success, and because of what you already know of these two random individuals, and the fact that Arthur Adams is also here, kind of on a short notice kind of thing, and what's going on.
Oh yeah, he would be the third, huh?
Yeah, you assume that Achilles is in reference to Arthur, but that he's more or less here just in a way to kind of keep an eye on Elizabeth, so to speak, until Nazar and Igor get here, which of course you assume are the two mysterious gentlemen.
Well, yeah, obviously they're the ones
from
with
Illinois, right?
Illinois plates, yeah.
Yeah. But you haven't necessarily seen any activity that Arthur's done outside of being in the room that he's in.
Yeah, crap.
But also, I mean, Elizabeth has had most of her interactions right outside of that room, or at least nearby anyways, so. Actually.
Okay.
Forrest, give me a brawl roll, actually. This isn't to actually fight. This is more of like assessing somebody in that sense.
Wow.
Right?
No.
Come on.
No.
You want to push that? You want to push that one?
I'm going to push that one. That one's a good one to push, yes.
Okay,
I said
there we go.
Rolls
All right, that
100.
makes more logical sense, right? Okay. Yeah. So,
Thank you, Vorrt. I almost forgot about that.
right, yeah. From what you can tell of these two mysterious guys, I mean, they're definitely fighters, right?
Yep.
Just based on their body language, from what you could even tell through the curtain, which I assume you already picked up on, being broad-shouldered and large guys, right? Arthur Adams is someone that probably knows at least how to handle himself,
Mm-hmm.
but I mean, he's from what you even know from the files and everything, he's more of an engineer, right? He's not necessarily a soldier or a criminal, so to speak, in the sense of violence. So in that regard, you don't really think Arthur Adams is somebody that you'd have to necessarily worry about if it got to that point.
Yeah.
But definitely Nazar and Igor are to that. Yeah. They might be difficult to deal with, even for you. Like, you might be able to deal with both of them by yourself.
Yeah. Well,
You would have to do it in an intelligent way if you did.
I'd have
Right?
to shoot one of them first.
Right, yeah. Shoot one of them, bottleneck them somehow, something,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. No, the actually that kind of goes with my idea. Hey Nora, keep working your notebook and keep a subtle eye on that place. I got to go talk to Rocco for a second, okay?
Okay.
So at that point, for like the first time in probably,
2.5 weeks.
an hour, I move. I actually
That's fair. Yeah.
I actually get up, and make my way into the room.
Your legs are a little, off just from sitting, however long you did. It's not bad in the sense like they're asleep. It's just, it's like sitting after a movie for a while, right?
Yep. Yeah, but this guy's still 23.
Exactly.
You're
still good.
Yeah, you got to remember you're thinking with about middle-aged legs at 23.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
Yep.
Damn my legs. All right.
Yeah, go into Rocco. You still awake, or you like zoned out when you rolled that?
Yeah,
It's been about an hour. I'm probably still awake. I'm just finishing up with the
some of his failed listen check is he like really zoned into his book and his notes and everything.
Hey.
What? Huh?
Yeah, you'd even hear him walk in. By the way, it wasn't until he said "Hey" that you realized he was there.
Yep. Turn on the radio to just enough to muffle our sounds, then walk over to him. Okay. Elizabeth, the woman I walked over, introduced myself to, she's a spy. The two guys with the car from Illinois are here to probably take care of her. The guest of the director is probably there to monitor her until those two make their move. I was thinking that those two might be best off if they never leave their room. And by that, I was thinking about doing something, having you do something to jam their door shut so that they can't open it. Is that something you can whip up? I know you're better at fixing things, but I'm asking you to break something.
Oh, that's not a problem. I did that to... Allegedly did that to some lieutenants and colonels while I was over in England. When
that was you? That was you? Wow, allegedly. That was good. Okay, you're right. Allegedly, that was you. That was good, Joe. That was good work. That guy wrote me up. Yeah, that guy wrote me up for my
story points in the system now.
Yeah,
that's great.
That guy wrote me up for a crease in my pants.
Yeah, that one was definitely a certain breed of special.
Yep. All right. Well, yeah, if you can do that, I'll go out and sit with Nora. I'll watch. Cherry's got her in the room, probably getting her drunk, probably continuing to get her drunk till she's passed out. And then it's Cherry's ops, so she gets to decide how we get her out of here.
No, that's fair.
I
mean, that guy wasn't nearly as bad as what I heard of the stories of Sobel, but you know.
That's fair. But yeah, but I didn't have to deal with him.
Neither did I, thankfully. All right. Yeah. Which room number?
Give him the room number. Actually, yeah, with that one, it would be room 14.
All the way across the way.
Yep.
Pretty much the opposite side.
Yeah, let me know if you to get a. They're watching pretty closely, but since the door's on the other side from that main window, you probably can sneak up from the side. Let me know use hand signals if you need a distraction or whatever. I'll have I don't know, maybe Nora slap me or something like that. Like I said, something inappropriate.
Okay, that raises you said something there that raises a very this is out of character statement, very good
Yeah.
point that I'd like to propose to Andrew to think about. I don't need an answer tonight. Could Tom and I take something in languages for military hand signs?
Yeah. I mean, I would allow something like that. That makes sense.
Just think that would be trace. We can figure out an appropriate skill cap level for that later.
Yeah.
But all right, so doors opposite side, but they're watching out a window. Yeah, that shouldn't take too much. You just need them stuck in the room, or do you also want them blinded?
I think we need to let Cherry. I think we need to back Cherry as much as we can. So if we blind them, then something's happened, and they may be able to call out. And then other guy.
Blinding them would just be the window itself. Like I'm not physically doing anything.
No,
to them.
they've already seen stuff. So I don't know. I think if you blind them, we'll be blind. We won't be able to see what they're doing either. And I think that's more powerful.
Oh yeah, then I will. Yeah, I can do that. I head out to the car, open the trunk or whatever resembling storage, and pull out my toolkit, and just kind of walk around to the far side. You know, nonchalantly. Again, not like I'm not trying to sneak. I don't have skills like that. I'm not trying to do anything.
But you're trying to
fancy.
work your way over.
Yeah, just work my way around.
Nora, while Forrest stepped into the room, what did you do?
No, she's gonna basically stay where she was at on the bench where he was and continue smoking.
Okay.
I've got a perfect reason to be out here.
As you're essentially a lookout at the moment, right?
Do you want to push it?
Yes. No.
Wow.
All right, so
oh no.
I'm gonna have to. I gotta up the threat for tomorrow because you're gonna be rolling like gangbusters.
Yeah. So you're
I got
trying
that too
your
earlier.
best
I wouldn't
to focus and keep an eye out and everything. And like as you're smoking, at one point, even though this barely ever happens to someone who's a normal smoker, the smoke kind of gets in your eyes for a second. You kind of like wave it away, and it doesn't take you that long to deal with that. But when you look back in that direction, see, I'm not the only one whose headset is against him tonight.
my ear itched.
Right, that's the same.
It decided to like loop off my head.
But yeah, you look back in the direction just as a car is pulling into the parking lot, and that kind of like takes your notice. It parks it in a spot, and out gets this gentleman that seems more average build in a very nondescript suit, but potentially either government or militaristic. And you see him walk towards the check-in front desk area right after parking. And as he walks over to it, you see another individual that you didn't necessarily see before as well. But this gentleman is, larger than this guy, kind of broad-shouldered, but not necessarily wearing a suit. He's got a little bit of longer hair than the other guy that you saw from, or that Forrest saw of these two mysterious guys. It's still short, but not as clean cut. And he's got a button-up shirt and everything, but he doesn't have like a suit jacket. He doesn't look as put together as Forrest described the other guy. And he's also walking to the check-in desk. And the two kind of meet. It doesn't seem like they were necessarily supposed to. They just happen to be both walking, it seems, to the check-in office at the time. And after noticing that, you glance back towards the room that the two mysterious guys are in, just as their front door closes.
Like one of them just left the room.
Right. At least one of them. And then at that moment is probably when Rocco walks out.
Give him a couple seconds as he makes his way across, and then I would walk out and take my spot again.
Mm-hmm. Right
this
by
time,
Nora.
Yeah, right by Nora. This time a little bit, seated a little bit, so it's like I'm paying attention to what she's not like. Wow, that sounds awful. To as if we're having a normal conversation.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Acting casual. Right.
Right. Acting casual, like we're having
I'm just trying to fly casual.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
What I miss?
Rocco, give me a spot hidden check as you're heading over, kind of the way you are, and Forrest, give me a spot hidden check as you walk out to sit with Nora.
You know what? I'm going to go with the theory that it can't get much worse than what I did. I'm pushing the spot hidden check.
Okay. All right. All right. Oh no!
I was wrong. It got worse.
Oh, no. All right. So, Rocco, yeah, you head out. You see the room that you got to go to and everything. The door's closed. It looks like there's movement on the inside from the other side of the curtain, and you're focused. You're kind of working your way over there, trying to be as casual, but not sticking out as much as you can. Go ahead and give me a stealth roll.
Oh God.
Forrest, as you walk out, you see that there is nice job, Rocco. Wow.
I can't spot shit, but oh man, am I stealthy?
It's definitely darker now. There's still the lights outside from the motel, but helps out quite a bit. You got a little bit of adrenaline kind of channeled as you are just trying your best to kind of Pink Panther your way, so to speak, over there.
Up on his tiptoes.
Right.
Yeah.
And Forrest, I mean, you see him do this. He's doing a really good job, but like you can tell, stealth isn't exactly what he's gonna excel in normally.
Yep.
But he's doing a bang up job right now. He's doing exactly what he needs to.
Mm-hmm.
And you notice that there is another car in the parking lot that you don't recognize from before.
You spot who was in that. Actually, no. I sit down. So what I miss?
One or both of them left the room.
Crap. Who got out of the? You see who got out of the car?
I did not see that, right? Was that
You saw who
the-
it was, but it wasn't anybody you recognized. It was
Right.
the guy that was more average build, kind of either government or military type in a nondescript suit.
Yes, no one of note at this point.
Okay. Anything on the anything out of the ordinary on the license plate of the car?
Not that Nora noticed.
Well, can I see the license plate of the car?
You can see it.
Okay.
You'd probably have to get closer to tell much added detail
Okay.
of it.
It's not
and
like it's an
you-
obvious like US Army plate or anything
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
it's not like an obvious one like that necessarily. You do see though, as Rocco's kind of sneaking over, that room with the two with Nazar and Igor in it.
Yep.
There is somebody still inside the room, at least one person.
Well, at least one of them still in the room. What
He went
is
towards the check-in desk.
okay, wonderful. Actually, I haven't been in the rooms yet. Just realized, so I don't know. How's the room layout? Is there a way somebody could get in from the backside of the motel?
I
don't know. I was asking Nora.
like, okay. Well, like you were in the room briefly for when you talked to
Okay,
Rocco,
you're right. Did I see?
but you weren't able to walk around the room
Yeah.
a lot, so it still makes sense to ask the question.
Yeah. Like, is there a win? I assume the bathrooms at the back of the motel room. Usually they are.
Yeah.
Especially in California because you could just have the plumbing go outside.
Right.
Is there a window that could get entered through the bathroom?
There is.
If you were determined.
Right, yeah. It's a window that's higher up. And if you're a particularly big guy, you might not necessarily fit very easily. But some of the nicer rooms over back where you would go into the bathroom have like a little desk area that also has a normal window right by it. That would be on the back side, so to speak, of the motel room. And the room that Cherry and Nora are staying in is one of those rooms because Cherry is one of the stars of the movie.
Crap. So we don't know where one of them is right now. Correct?
Right. Like Nora saw him go towards the check-in desk, the admin area, but that's last she knew. And you have yet to see anybody else other than Rocco, who's slinking over.
Actually, I got a perfect role for this.
Okay.
That's not good.
Rocco, what are you doing to the door? Because the door is what I'm assuming you're dealing with, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm basically. I was trying to think of what I was like. I think the honest answer is just basically jimmying the handle in such a manner that it cannot be turned or like the key can't go in and the knob can't be turned, so it's just stuck in place.
Right.
Kind of thing. So
okay.
If they really want to get out of the room, they could break the door down. But I think doors open out or in.
The doors to these rooms, they would probably open
Probably
outward.
in.
In?
Yeah,
Oh.
Yeah. No, most of the motels
they open
or
inward.
hotel-like style places I've been at with outside rooms, it would open inward. Yeah.
Otherwise, they'd be hitting somebody else as they walk down the hall.
Right. Exactly.
Outside of it.
Yeah. I think most hotel doors open inward. Actually, now that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean, creative licensing and all.
Yeah.
Right. Right. No, that's fine. But yeah, no,
So-
it would probably be, I would say, a mechanical role.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna look for.
Or like engineering, depending on kind of your approach to it.
Definitely, I'm going for the mechanical repair
Okay.
element.
And I mean, you still have some of your tools and everything with you, but obviously, depending on how in depth you go with what you do with your tools, might make some noise. But yeah, go ahead and give me the mechanical role itself.
Ah, hell no! I'm pushing that one.
All right, that sounds good.
Can I
Oh,
spend
so
luck?
close.
Can I
Yeah.
spend the luck to?
Yes. You can.
Use the luck.
admit-
Use the luck.
Yeah, you just spend one can get you a normal success. One thing I do also want to mention with luck that I've recently learned myself that I don't believe I've mentioned is other than buying yourself into a normal success with luck, you can technically buy yourself into better successes with luck. So like if you're close to a hard or an extreme success, you could turn
Okay.
it into that with luck as well.
Okay, that makes sense.
It just typically will take spending more luck, but you can do that.
Yep.
Yeah, but I spent the 1 point I needed. I'm down to 51
Right,
points. so-
exactly. So yeah, it's a regular success on mechanical repair, just barely. So go ahead and give me another stealth roll.
Oh, please no.
Ooh.
I'm spending another point. Oh, damn it! I keep forgetting to hit end mode first. Spending another point of
No,
luck.
you're fine. Yeah, that's perfect then. So like as you go over and everything, you're kind of piecing together in your mind, okay, this is what I'm going to do, this is what I'm going to do. I think this will be good, kind of thing. And you kind of like catch your foot on the curb a little bit going from the parking lot to the sidewalk, and you almost trip over towards where the door is, but you catch yourself before you actually hit anything and make too much noise. And you notice that the way their door and everything is, it still opens inward and everything. It's still just like all the other doors. But it looks as though they did something minor to the door that most people probably wouldn't notice unless they had mechanical knowledge to try to prevent it from being sabotaged in a way, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
But it's something you've probably done on one of your own doors before yourself. You recognize it and you know exactly how to undo it. So it's probably something like they made it so that the I forget what exactly the name of it, but the part of the lock that actually goes into the door jamb doesn't actually go out into it as much as it normally does unless you actively lock it. Like at a base,
Yep.
it doesn't do anything. So they kind of disable the normal function of that, but you're able to kind of undisable that, so to speak, and then do your own little sabotage, so to speak, to make it stick in that opposite way, that even if they turn the handle or anything, they're not going to get it to undo. What was
So-
that, Tom?
Well, no, he fretted the lock. There's Jimmy the lock and there's fretting the lock.
I'm going to have to look that term up.
Okay, so I rolled to
Yeah.
see whether or not I would do the reasonable thing, even though it even though it could potentially put Nora in the room with the spy,
Mhm.
and I failed badly on it. So I would I'm probably gonna do the stupid thing.
Mhm.
I probably lean it a little bit close to Nora and go,
Mhm.
Okay, I gotta secure your room to make sure they're not coming in the back way.
Mm-hmm.
When I go there, when I go into your room, if anything happens, make a beeline for my door. We left it unlocked. You should be able to take cover in there.
Got it.
And then I stand back up, and I go and I open the door into Cherry's room.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a spot hidden on your way towards that door.
Yep.
Nora, give me. I know this is going to be an odd roll for you, but go ahead and give me an intelligence roll.
Ooh, success. Not
Nice.
Okay,
awesome. So yeah, when you, even though the urgency of you trying to relay your message to Forrest right after the radio signal came in, you still closed up the case and everything that the radio's in, so it
good.
looked like luggage again.
Yep.
Meaning when Elizabeth happened to go in, it's luggage, right?
She wouldn't
Yeah.
see the spot
Good.
here.
Yeah, if you
That makes
happened to
sense.
fail that roll, I would have had a luck roll to see if you did it anyways, but yeah. Anyway, so Tom, on your way over, and Nora, actually, you can give me a spot hidden as well. Forrest sees.
Well, for crying out loud.
Nora doesn't though. Forrest sees this kind of average build, very nondescript suit kind of gentleman leaving the check-in
Yep.
station. You know, it sounds similar to the person Nora described as the new one to the car and everything.
Yep.
You get regular or whatnot, and he's got a key. He's heading towards a room, it seems.
Okay.
And you see, like, as he's passing, or going away from the check-in area, passing by where the director is, he's kind of like looking at that room a little bit longer than you feel an average person would. And then just keeps walking.
Looking at
It's
what
not
room
like,
a little bit longer.
The one that the director is staying in.
Okay.
That he's also holding Arthur Adams in.
Yep.
And it's not an obvious thing. Like, whoever this is good at trying to make it nonchalant, but you notice it because it's similar to something like you would do. Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
So he's probably not. He's not a master at this. He's probably essentially what Forrest is at. Someone skilled, just enough to be professional, but
exactly.
Not a master of the craft.
Right.
Okay.
And Rocco, give me a spot hidden as you finish up sabotaging their door shut, essentially.
Oh crap! I made it.
Nice. Make sure to mark a dot for that. If you haven't already.
I have so many dots. I
know. The next day, everybody will have a chance to replenish. But yeah, you finish that up and everything, and you get like the hair on the back of your neck kind of stands up for a second as your adrenaline and paranoia peaks for a second. And you kind of like look over your shoulder right as you see that other gentleman that you assume is for this room starts to leave the check-in room, kind of heading in the direction of your room.
The room I'm working on, or the room?
Yeah, the room you're working on.
Okay.
So go ahead and give me a stealth check. And Forrest, nice.
I just pick
Forrest,
up my tools as if
you
they
catch
drop,
that
and I start
glimpse, like
walking
you
away.
see this other gentleman leaving the check-in room, heading back towards the room with the two mysterious guys, right as Forrest is like sneaking away from the door.
Oh, okay. So the guy starts heading back toward.
Yes.
Oh, he's not heading towards this door.
Right.
He's heading towards the one with.
And you see, like, his hair's a little bit longer. He doesn't look like he's military necessarily, but he's still large, kind of broad-shouldered.
Yep.
Still the usual clothes everybody would probably be wearing, a button-up shirt or whatnot, but more casual. and he's not carrying himself with the same kind of bearing that a military person would either. Like, it seems like he's kind of like spinning keys around his finger
Yep.
as he's going from that place, in kind of like a cocky kind of way.
But he's heading towards the director's
Yeah, he's heading
door.
towards the room that they're apparently checked into already.
Oh, oh, wait. Who's checked
The one that
into?
Rocco was at the door at.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so
This is Igor or Nazar.
Igor or Nazar,
Nazar.
and he's heading back, and
Yeah.
he's going to find
The sabotage
Rocco's
door.
work. He's going to
Probably.
find Rocco's work.
Well, he'll find a
Rocco,
door
you
that
find
sticks
a
and
nice
doesn't
spot to
open
go
like
and
it should.
hide and
What was that?
everything. Oh, sorry. What was that, Nora?
Oh no, I was just saying he's gonna find a door that sticks and doesn't open as it should.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, he won't. Yeah, okay. Then, but I don't have to. Well, I mean, hold it. Millet, I'm going to keep going on my path then.
Okay. Yeah, you keep heading towards the room that Cherry is checked in. Is Nora going with you, or is Nora staying outside? Nora's staying outside?
Yep. Well,
Awesome.
that's actually
He's still
Still
trying to
doing the
keep
smoke
her
break
out
and
of the
everything, yeah.
same room
yeah.
where
That was what I
the
failed.
Soviet spy
Yeah.
is.
All right. I just wanted to make sure.
Yep. There's
Yeah.
no good solution, but yeah. But
Right.
I'm heading for
No,
the
she's
door.
definitely lighting up another cigarette.
All right. Rocco, you find a nice good spot to hide, kind of like ducked around one of the
I
cars,
just-
so this guy
I
can't
just
see
get
you.
up and start walking away. Just boop, boop, boop.
Give me a luck roll.
That's a coin flip. Oh, nope, no luck there.
So, yeah, this guy goes up. He tries the door to his room, and notices that the handle's not moving, and he's just trying to muscle the doorknob open. And then eventually he's knocks and waits for a moment, and then you see the door's kind of moving a little bit as if the other guy on the other side's trying the same thing. Are you muted, Tom?
No.
Oh, okay. I saw your lips moving, so I wasn't
Oh
sure
no,
if you were trying to talk.
I'm
Yeah.
just trying to think.
Or
It's like
thinking out
no.
loud, yeah.
I was thinking out loud.
But yeah, it seems like they're dealing with the door. They're not. Go and give me a psychology roll, Rocco.
All right.
I mean, we're all so good at it.
Right. Yeah, you're not quite sure how long it's going to be before they figure out what's going on with the door, but you hope that they think it's something they did with the door.
Yeah.
That for some reason it's not opening now. But you successfully sneak back towards the side of the motel that Nora's on and everything without being spotted. Forrest, as you're walking back towards Cherry's room, you know that the other, new mystery gentleman, average build, nondescript suit kind of thing, is walking in the same general direction you are. But as you get to Cherry and Nora's room, he kind of goes by you over towards where his room is, kind of almost on the other opposite corner of the U. And you see him kind of looks over his shoulder a couple times towards the room that has those other has Nazar and Igor at it, with a little bit of curiosity, but not necessarily enough that you pick out. Go ahead and give me a psychology roll as well.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, this guy seems like the feeling you get and everything. He's probably a curious individual, but probably someone that's more of a traveling salesman of some kind, is the feeling you're getting. Um, like he's got vacuums in his car or something along those lines,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because otherwise he seems very casual. Doesn't seem like he's carrying himself in a sense of what you expect someone from the military or government or whatnot to be generally carrying themselves as.
Okay.
But you go into the room, and Sherry kind of like reacts to the door and everything as you start turning the knob and everything is like, who is it? Like, Nora?
Forrest, just wanted to check on you. Make sure everything was all set.
All right. And like she kind of like looks out and everything as you walk in and everything. And Elizabeth is sitting over in one of the chairs by the desk, ironically right next to the piece of luggage that Nora has to the radio end.
Yeah, the heavy one that has me carry around for her.
Right, yeah.
Just figured I wanted to check on you, Miss Cherry, make sure everything was all right.
Yeah, things are good.
Okay, Mr. Lerner was very was appreciative of you doing him this favor. I wanted to make sure he wanted me to make sure I said that.
Yeah, does everything seem good now?
Yeah, no, I just wanted to look. I take a pointed look at the window that would let someone get access from the outside. Yep, just wanted to make sure you were all careful and everything. And we're all nice and secure. I'll
yeah,
and
we're all good for the night.
All right.
Do you happen to know when Nora might be on her way back?
Probably back pretty soon if you think that's all right. Her and I have been
just have her knock.
Okay, her and I have been talking.
When she does or whatnot.
No, she's helping me. She's helping me with some of the lines that I got for tomorrow. So
fair enough. All right.
She knows better. She knows gooder English than I do, so it always helps.
Gooder is never mind. Thank you, Forrest. You have a good night.
You too do. Tip my hat and back out the door.
All right. I know it's not anybody's thing, but go ahead and give me another psychology roll as
there's always, you
kind of read it.
Yeah, there's always the chance that
Right, exactly.
There's a 10% chance that you succeed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm gonna push it a little bit.
Yeah.
What the heck? Nope. Okay. No.
All right. Yeah. Elizabeth seems a little emotional, probably a little bit more sober than she was a couple moments ago.
Drunk, but that's her job.
But otherwise seems comfortable in the room. She seemed a little tense when you came to the door, but quickly kind of eased down.
Yeah, especially when Cherry started her,
right,
being in charge of the place. Not
exactly.
A character ran by Christina would ever be like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you head back towards Nora.
Yep.
All right. Yeah, you head back towards Nora. You see, I'm gonna just call him Igor for now, the one with the longer hair.
Yeah.
Nazar being the more put together guy. You see Igor kind of messing with his front door, and you see Rocco over by Nora, just kind of like trying to be nondescript about it, but yeah.
There's really nothing we can do after I sit down to this is Jerry's thing, so there's really nothing we can do until she decides or stuff really starts going wrong. It hasn't really started going wrong yet.
Sounds like a good time to cut the night.
It does seem
Right.
like good night tonight. Good night.
Give me spot hidden rolls real quick.
Okay.
As we go.
Oh, another roll. All right.
Just as
Is
Top
that
says, seems like nothing bad's going on.
You want everybody on this?
Yes. All right. So,
Go Nora's paranoia.
Yeah.
right, yeah, exactly. Forrest, I'm gonna assume like he actually says that the whole like nothing's bad going on for the night. If you, were you saying that in character?
Oh yeah, no, that was
Okay,
all that was all in character. What he
Okay.
was saying, he was
So
saying to Nora.
right as you say that and everything, Nora looks over and sees Igor essentially like kind of crouches down in front of where his door is, pulls out what looks to be some kind of small tools from his pocket, and unjimmies the door and opens it to get into the room. And that is where we'll cut it for the night. As the other guy kind of steps out rather angrily.
Oh, okay. And Nora swats me for taunting Murphy.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
But yeah, other than that, thank you everybody for playing tonight and
Yep.
being available. I hope you had fun. Does anybody have any other streams or anything else coming up that they want to mention?
Yeah. Tomorrow
We
night.
should probably mention our couple weeks off that we'll be taking.
Oh,
yes,
that's a fair
yes.
point.
For this
yes.
one, we will be for a couple weeks. We'll be back next month on the 12th. So we have a couple weeks due to which convention is it again? I'm so out of touch with conventions.
Gen Con.
Gen Con. All right. I used to be able to frequent those things. Not with kids.
Barrington does that.
Right.
Not that I would know.
Yeah. Gen Con and then vacations.
Yes.
And then yeah. As for other streams, tomorrow night on this channel at 7:30, we'll be doing another Shadowrun. Let's see, what did I say this was? This is Karmic Exchange. After the events of the last couple weeks with corporate hit teams tearing up Seattle, before they were soundly trounced when their logistics and reinforcement support was consumed by magically corrupted hellfire and a spirit vengeance tiger and bear. Things have gotten weird in Seattle. Rumors from the shadows indicate the Mystery Corp is still looking hard, but doing it low-key. With that type of heat in town, the standard runs are hard to come by, but quick runs are cropping up. The requests are strange, but the new yen is good. And they're not the most bizarre requests any of these guys have heard. They harken back to that Matrix legend called The Exchange. That's at 7:30 tomorrow night on this channel, in which they will be setting up. They will probably be setting up a few things that will affect the next Shadowrun game we have, which is on, for the next Shadowrun game I'm going to GM, which is on Gen Con TV, the Gen Con TV Twitch channel, and that will be at 8 o'clock on Thursday.
And maybe with the title like Karmic Exchange, the GM will finally remember to give his players karma for the last few runs.
The GM has been making
it's
notes.
not like GMs rarely let their players advance or anything.
I'm normally much better than this, but it hasn't
I
gone
was more or
past
less
the quarter
making
yet.
fun of myself for not letting you increase your skills yet.
Yeah, that would be nice. I might have actually. I wouldn't have made that roll tonight if I had a chance to regain some composure. But otherwise, I think with Gen Con, streaming is gonna take a backseat for a couple weeks, but for next week. But we're looking forward to seeing everybody on the 12th.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you all. I hope everyone has a good night, and I hope everyone tunes in to Shadows of Nox for their next stream.
Night, folks.
Tuesday, right?
Yes.